Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today is a very special day for me because it is my first time joining the global video hop group. So, as I say, very special day. Below in the description bar you will find links to the videos that the other members of the group have done. So do go and have a look at that. We're all looking at the Abstract Impressions stamp set. This is in the annual catalogue. It carried over from last year's annual catalogue as well. It's huge. It's got 2 sheets of stamps. There is a matching die set as well, but I'm going to be concentrating on the stamps today. So 2 huge sheets of stamps for some very abstract looking images. And this is the card that I've already made. I'm going to be making a version of this, but it's basically going to be the same. So this is silver and black. I wanted, because we're sort of getting into that Christmassy spirit, I wanted to go down a bit of bling. So the one I'm going to make today with you is going to use gold instead of silver. I've done some heat embossing and then heat embossing on top. So we're going to be doing some of that and I will show you how that works, and then I'll show you how to put the card together. Now you'll see I have gutted my glimmer paper because you kind of want to save it for special. And then these 2 little strips here are just little strips. So this is a real way to save your glimmer paper. I'm starting with just a straight piece of basic black and then an offcut of basic black. This is about 1 1/8 inch wide. All the measurements will be on my website, and as I say, that's linked below in the description bar. So don't worry about measurements, you don't have to write them down. Okay, so we're only using 4 stamps. There was me thinking it was 3. No, it's not, it's 4. Somewhere I have hidden a scrap, oh yes, underneath my stamps. This is what I'm going to use for stamping the flower, and then we're going to do some fussy cutting. So I'm going to start, let's get rid of that, with, as ever with embossing, the first thing you want to do is get your embossing buddy out, and I keep it on my Versamark ink pad, so it's always there when I need it. First image I'm going to use is the largest of the florals. And I'm going to grab my Versamark, ink that up. Versamark's a lovely sticky ink, so it's great for heat embossing. Now, I did try this with the Delicata inks from the Autumn Winter catalogue, and it wasn't quite a rich enough colour for me on the black, and I really wanted to go with metallic on black. So that's why I'm using embossing powder. So this is my gold embossing powder. Just add that, give it a flick to get any excess off, and then we're good to go. Always put my lid back on before I heat emboss, because you never know where it's going to end up otherwise. Right, so I've got my trusty cheese board. Just going to pop that under there. We will be doing quite a lot of heat embossing, so the first thing you need to do is warm your heat tool. So I'm doing that under the table because it is noisy, so bear with me. And then just hold your heat tool in one place and watch the embossing powder do its magic. Okay, now don't do too much heating at this point because we are going to be heating this again, so you don't want to overheat. So I'll pop that to one side. I'm going to add some more embossing buddy. Too much, I think. Let's get rid of some of that. And I've got the really fine image, floral image, and then add some more Versamark. And then this is always the tricky bit, is getting the image lined up. Okay, there we go. Now this I don't have in a box yet, This is our black sparkle. So I've just got this piece of folded paper, and I will add the black sparkle over the top, tap it off, and that looks good to go. And then just tap that down, because you'll get some that's round the edge of your pot lid, and then pour it back in. There we go. And then get rid of the bits that inevitably fly all over the place, and pop the lid back on. I have seen someone actually do heat embossing and melt pretty much the whole pot of embossing powder, because they hadn't realised they'd left the lid open and it was in line of sight of the heat tool. So yes, so this you want to try and do as quickly as you possibly can, so you don't overheat the gold that's already there. There we go. And it just adds enough definition so that you can see, hopefully I can show you that, so you can see that it's not a flat colour. Now, before I do anything else, I will be fussy cutting that out, but first I want to add the thank you to my piece of black. Get rid of some of that powder. And I'm coming quite a way over to the edge, and stamp, lift up, and bring back in the gold. Yep. And we're nearly finished with embossing, but not quite. So, actually I might do the other bits of embossing while I'm here. So I'm just going to pop, actually I don't need to do that bit yet. So, brain dangerous. Oh, it's just not working today. So embossing buddy, I've got one of the little leaf images, ink that up, and I can do the first one without knowing really where I'm going. And I then want to add my embossing powder so that I can see that. And I've got a thumbprint there. Then gauge where that's going. Okay, ink up my stamp again. And I just want this sort of there. So that it's going to be peeking out the other side of the strip. Now, I've definitely got thumbprints now. So what I want, and I know I had it out just now, there we are, is a dry paintbrush. Reasonably good quality dry paintbrush. And if you think you've got any embossing powder where you don't want it, just wipe it away. Being careful not to disturb what you do want to keep there. Right, okay. Bring in my trusty cheese board again. And actually we've got a few bits there that I need to brush away. There we are. Flick that. Okay, and let's go. So that's those done. Let's bring in the thank you and do that. Excellent. Right, okay, so now what we need to do is pop our card together. So let's get rid of all the bits we don't need. Bring back in the bits we do need. I need to just fussy cut my flower. So there is no right or wrong way of fussy cutting this particular image, because it's not got a die or anything. It's a very abstract image. So you can just leave a little border. And I'm going to be leaving some fairly large spaces, such as here, because obviously, you know, it's not really a flower. It's just an abstract impression of a flower. How's that for a pun? Okay, right. So I'm going to get rid of some of the powder. I'm going to stick my little gold strips on the back of this first. So I've got tiny little strips. They're, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch maybe, that sort of amount. I'm going to grab some tear and tape. This is all a bit longer. It's going to cut off here, so they're all a bit longer than the width of this piece. So I know that I've got a margin of error. So one piece, and the other piece. So I hope you're going to have a look at all of the other people who are taking part in the hop. And if you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, subscribe to their channel. If this is your first time with me, I would be thrilled if you would subscribe to mine. And if you've got any questions or comments, just leave them in the comments bar below. If you go below the video, you'll find that there is a space for adding comments. And we will all be very happy to answer any questions, respond to comments, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's always nice to have a bit of interaction. Just because it's a video doesn't mean it shouldn't be interactive. Now, I'm going to add my black to my gold using some liquid adhesive. I'm going to be reasonably generous because the adhesive needs to get into the glitter. And this is good glitter. It doesn't, you know, fluff off. So you're not going to end up with glitter everywhere. So just pop that down. And then I like to turn it over and give it a good press the other side. I'm not worried if some of the glue comes out this way because it's going to need to be glued down anyway. On the subject of which, somewhere on my desk, I buried, oh yes, under, I buried my, oh, and I know what I haven't done, but it's okay because we've got lots of glue there. So I'm going to add a little bit more tear and tape on the back of this because I have covered up quite a lot of that. And just get rid of this. Then I'm going to get very messy because I'm going to pull up the black that I've already stuck on the gold. It's because I wasn't concentrating. So I'm going to pop this down and then pull this up. And you can see the glue has spread out nicely. It's quite a good thing to have been able to show you. Anyway, the glue spreads out really nicely. Then from the back, just trim off the bits you don't want. And if you do it from the back, you're more likely to get a straight cut because you'll use the edge of the card that you're sticking to as the guide. As I say, don't put your glue on first. Not a great idea, but hey. And then just pop that down again. There we go. So that's fine. Pick up a bit of glue. Right, so now I'm going to put some more glue on. And I'll use this to stick everything to my card front. My card front is just half a sheet of cardstock, scored and, say, cut in half. I tend to do the tall thin because it's better for photography, but you can do it so it opens that way or lifts up. Right, I need some dimensionals to go on the back of this. I'm actually going to use the edge bits of my dimensionals because they're fatter, and I could just get the larger dimensionals out, but I've got these to hand. So in the New Autumn Winter catalogue, we've got these black dimensionals. So if you're using dark cardstock, They are great because you can't see them. If you use the white dimensionals, you can see them sometimes. But if you're using dark cardstock, use the dark dimensionals. You get 2 sheets of the large and 2 sheets of the small. So it's really good value. Just pop your flower down, and then I'm going to grab some rhinestones and my take your pick tool, and I'm going to pop one into the center and then take a couple and pop them kind of wherever you want them. It really doesn't matter. I do quite like odd numbers and I do quite like triangles, so we might do that. And then let's have a look at the one that I made initially, clear the decks a bit, and there we go. So we've got the silver and black and the golden black. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please go and have a look at everybody else's videos as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. As I say, if you would like to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, bottom right hand corner. If you want to get notified when I post a video, you can also hit the notification bell. If you've got any questions or comments, leave those below. Dimensions over on my website, what I've used listed below and on my website, and enjoy the rest of your hop. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks a lot. Bye.